it's Natalie.
Hey y'all, it's Madeline.
And I'm Autumn, and this is TWT. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to TWT. It's Natalie.
It's Autumn.
And this is Madeline.
And in today's episode, we'll be catching up with our influencers and what we've been up to lately as we prepare for the 2023 fall semester. With that being said, I'll hand it over to Autumn to start us off.
So, what are you all looking forward to for this fall 2023 semester?
Me personally, I feel like I'm excited to really kind of get my career goals down because my major is social work and I feel like that's so general. Like the past 2 years, it's been oh, I want to be a social worker. I feel like this year is when I really need to get it down pat and get the experience. Okay, this is what I want to do. So I'm excited to do that because I'm passionate about social work and then kind of narrow it down.
Oh, okay.
Definitely agree with that because for me, if you really think about it, your first 2 years of college are your basics. So your third and fourth year, you're really setting your foot down and okay, this is getting real, whether you're going to grad school or whatever. So I think I'm taking my more serious classes this year. So I'm excited to finally get a feel of what I'm gonna do for, my career.
Yeah, and undergrad goes by so fast because I'm in grad school now, and actually I'm going off to do my second clinical rotation.
Yay!
So I am super excited for that. So yeah,
that's good.
It's scary, but it's a good change. It'll be good.
It will be.
Yeah. So what academic goals do you all have for this year?
My academic goals personally, so I'm going to be working 40 hours a week.
Wow.
In San Diego. Yeah, it's pretty intense. I'm going to be at the VA focusing on traumatic brain injuries and whatnot. So really just passing, I need a score of 111 and then
you got this, Autumn. You got this.
I believe in you.
Thank you. What about you, Natalie?
So honestly, I'm taking biochemistry this semester and next semester, and that's the whole feel of my degree. So my academic goal just consists of, passing biochemistry because it's a pretty intense course.
Yeah.
Not only that, but actually getting the material down because it's it's the whole of what's going to be covered in medical school or it's the base foundation of what I'm going to use basically to start off my career. So if I don't have that down, then
well, you will.
Yeah, I have faith.
What about you, Madeline?
I definitely this is a far goal, but I make the chancellor's list every semester, so I want to try.
Wow, that's a good one.
But I don't know this semester because I have to take a math class, and I don't know if y'all know me in math, but we do not mix. So
that's me. That's literally me.
So I gotta work harder because I cannot do math to save my life. But I want to stay on the chancellor's list because I think.
And you will.
You got it. You've done it for 3 years. You can do it again.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so transitioning a little bit about going towards our personal life. Did y'all go on any vacations this summer? If so, where did y'all travel to?
So for me, I had really intense classes this summer. So my travel was very
to you.
I know, but I ended up going to Vegas though with my dad. We went for his birthday, so that was super fun. We had a best. Yeah, it was awesome. The weather was 115 degrees though. It was absolutely insane. It's
well, you compared to Dallas though. Dallas is
yeah, gosh,
horrible right now.
Horrible. What about you, Madeline? Have you gone anywhere?
I went to Cinnamon Shores, and which is Port Onassis, Texas. It's really nice there. I've never been there before, but it's right next to Corpus Christi. And my friends and I got an Airbnb. Fun fact, we showed up and they're are y'all 25? And we're no. And they're are you 21? And we're no. And they're well, y'all can't stay here. I'm
oh my god.
So they had to call their manager, but then they let us stay. But because we already paid, because I was it didn't say anywhere on the website. So we almost we're starting in Port Onassis. So that was fun.
Well, at least you went somewhere though.
Yeah.
Natalie, it seems like you have been all over. Tell us.
Yes, I actually took this summer to travel because every past summer since I got to college, I've been doing summer classes nonstop. So I was I need to take a break because I've been pushing myself. So I went to Maryland and then Washington, D.C., which was all in the same trip. I actually took that trip with TW, which was awesome.
Awesome.
And then I also went to Colorado. The weather was amazing over there. It was like 50 and 60 degrees, which was great to
perfect.
get away from
Nice.
the heat for a little bit. And then I also went to Puerto Rico, which was my favorite trip out of the three because, you
Wow.
know, it's just a trending place right now. And then there's just so much to do, and like there's a rainforest. It's so like nature vibes, you know. So
Is that
like
your first time going?
to Puerto Rico, yes, I loved it. But what I did not like was the flight. The flight was like over 5 hours long, and I'm like, I don't know,
Oh, wow.
kind
I
of
hate
tough.
flying.
But so worth it though. The
Yes,
picture,
the trip was worth it.
everything.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so transitioning. I know I'm going to be in San Diego for my semester, but do you girls plan to attend any fun TW events this fall semester?
I'll be going to the block party, which is tomorrow, but by the time this comes out, it's gonna be like September. But when we film this, the block party is tomorrow, so I'm super excited to go to that because it's fun.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
it's
so
so
fun
much
every year,
fun.
and there's so many goodies.
I
So
know.
much
I get so much
food
free
and
stuff.
oh, the best.
So that was in my plans as well, but unfortunately I cannot make it. But I am in Trio and they're hosting a lot of cool events this semester. Also, I know the student union is doing like their annual TW drag show, which is one of my favorites. So I'll be going to that, and yeah, just a lot of events that pop out throughout the semester, you know.
Yeah, that's fun. Well, I will be living vicariously through you guys,
Through our stories.
through the stories. You know.
I mean, you're gonna be in California. That sounds pretty fun to me, right?
I
next to
know.
the
So I
beach.
plan to actually document for, TW just because it's a new adventure and stuff. So I'm representing, so it'll be good.
Period.
That's
So I know
so
we kind of talked about like our career goals and things like that as well. So have you guys started to like think about that or form any career goals?
yes. So actually, now that I mentioned that, my career is getting a little bit more serious now, I've been looking into medical schools, and TW offers this program called JUMP that I'm trying to get into, which like basically offers you acceptance to most medical schools in Texas. So I'm looking into medical schools and the requirements, and I'm basically just trying to get into medical school and then go into my field of OBGYN. So hopefully that's in the short-term goals that I'm trying to achieve. Let's see how it goes.
I love that so much. Natalie, are you looking at schools in Texas then for med school?
So that's priority, but I
Okay.
am not being close-minded. I have looked at some in Chicago, in California, and in New York. Some of their acceptance rates are a little higher than Texas. So I'm open to anything. Wherever I get accepted to, I am willing to move.
At this point, yes, wherever
Yes.
you get accepted, you got to do, you got to do. And I guess as far as my career goals, so thank gosh, I graduate next May. So it's
Yes,
probably-
Autumn.
I know it's
Got
like
this.
2 more semesters left, y'all. It's been crazy. So I think most of you know that are probably listening. I'm getting a doctorate in occupational therapy. So for me, like I was offered a job at my last rotation, but I am not rooted in Texas. I'm rooted in Illinois. So I don't know where I want to necessarily work as far as state-wise, but I have the beauty of kind of being able to work wherever, because with occupational therapy, they're needed everywhere. So it's just where I want to literally end up state-wise. So I think I'll solidify that at the end of this fall semester. So yeah.
Not only that, but you're getting to experience what OT is like in different states, like
Exactly.
your field is not the same. I mean, it's the same base foundation, but not the same in every state. So you're getting to get a feel of different
Right.
kinds
And
of
I'm
work.
so blessed too. And thank gosh to TW for offering that option.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Madeline, what about you?
Yeah, so I really right now I want to be like a travel social worker, which is like
Wow.
yeah,
I
like when
love
you
that.
like sometimes if like smaller towns like a tragedy happens or like they need like mental health officials, like they have travel social workers come, and like it seems like it's like because I'm gonna graduate when I'm like 21, 22. So I'm like, what's the time
Yeah.
of social work? Like you kind of just settle down. Like, why am I settling down at
You're
21?
young and you're in your
Yeah.
20s. So like you're killing two birds with,
Yeah.
So
So why
Yeah,
not like travel
so
and like also it pays really well too. So I'm kind of looking at that. But I also did an internship this summer with like a foster care and
oh,
adoption
that's
agency. And I
awesome.
like that as
yes.
well. Like something child welfare focused. Like those are kind of like my two main, like child welfare or like the travel social work
I
aspect.
did
Okay,
hear that
wow.
a lot of like travel careers pay better
Me
because
too.
you have to pay for your travel expenses and your living and all of that. So that's
Mhm.
really good that you're thinking about that already.
Yeah.
Wow, good for you, Madeline. That's gonna be awesome. And you're gonna make a huge change. I mean, Natalie, you too, OBGYN.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah,
We're
I'm proud of all of
We're proud of
us.
each other.
we're doing something out there. So with that being said, discuss like, what we're heading into with our careers and everything. Has y'all's mindsets changed or like perspectives within your last school year and now? Like anything you've thought about that you're like, maybe I don't want to do that or anything like that.
I hope all of our perspectives change every year. We're
Yeah,
never the same person when we
Yeah.
first start things.
I
So
agree.
at least for me, the person who I was last year is totally different just because I've learned so much more and I feel more grounded with what I know and what I don't know. As far as like at least for my career and major and all that stuff, I feel like I have more of a focus of what I want to get into, especially for me, like I'm graduating soon. So I have a different perspective rather than just
Right.
kind of, chugging along with schoolwork. Like now it's like we talked about real world stuff.
Well, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
what about you?
Yeah, I feel like when I first started social work, I want to be a CPS worker. Like I want to work for CPS, but now I'm like I really don't know, which is okay to like have career changes. Like that's what I want to do, but now like after taking some of the classes, I'm like I really don't know if like that's specifically what I want to do. And I feel like that's kind of like one perspective that I've had that's like kind of changed
Yeah.
career
Yeah.
choice wise.
I agree with y'all. I feel like when I first started my journey, I was like, okay, OBGYN, set to OBGYN. But now, like, TikTok has influenced a lot, social media, even the people you're surrounded with, and you're like, you have to keep your mindset open. Like, things are not always gonna go as you want them to. So,
Mhm.
like, if you don't get into medical school, have a plan B, or if you do get into
Yeah.
medical school, but you don't match with OBGYN, another MD, like, so I feel like I have definitely grew as a person and I've had my like options open. So, I'm getting somewhere with that and I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah. And it's just so neat because we've been working together. I know I was the last one to start, but I've known you guys for what, a year and a half now. And it's just so
Almost two, yeah.
almost two. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost 2 years. And it's so cool to see your guys's like growth though
And
throughout
shit.
like when we first started,
Mhm.
to like now. It's truly amazing in the best ways possible.
Yeah, I agree with
Aw.
that.
So I guess to segue into the next question, so now I'm living in Chicago, Illinois, because that's where my family's at. So where do you guys plan to live for this, upcoming academic year?
So, my family originates from like Dallas. We're in the Dallas area, about
Gotcha.
15 minutes from downtown. But that commute is about 45 minutes to an hour from Denton. So I have an apartment in Denton, which is awesome because I'm only like 10 minutes from campus. And being a science major, most of my classes come with labs, so there's no way that I could take them online, most of them. So it's really good that I live super close to campus because I have to be there for labs, I have to be there for meetings, tutoring
Right.
sessions. So it's amazing that I get to do that.
That's convenient. 10 minutes is like nothing. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. What about you, Madeline?
I live on campus. I moved in yesterday. I'm living in Lowry this year. It's like
Ooh, how is it?
it's
Yeah.
nice. Like I didn't like I showed up to my room and I was like, oh, it's like bigger than my room at home, low key.
Do you have a suite or is it just you and your other roommate or how is that?
Like it's we both each have our own room and our own bathrooms and we just like share a kitchen and a living room. But my bathroom's bigger than my one. I'm so serious. Like this is bigger than I'm not saying this y'all because I work for the school and I'm trying to get y'all to come here, but I'm so serious. Like this is big. I feel like this is bigger than like what I have at my own house.
So it's an apartment. It's like an
Yeah, it's like
actual.
a full-on apartment.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
I
Wow.
showed up and I
So
was like,
what made you choose this over? Because last year you were where again?
oh, I was in a dorm. I was in Gwen.
Gotcha. Yeah, you were at Gwen. That's
My
right.
friend just texted me. She's like, "Do you want to live in Lowry with me?" And I was like, "Sure."
Because
That's
wow.
that's just how that happened. I was
And
like,
it's better because, like, I mean, having a roommate is amazing, you know, but you have your own space and like you
yeah,
don't have to, you know, worry about being quiet or, you know,
yeah,
not interrupting people. So that's awesome that you have, you know, your personal space, your
yeah.
personal
It's
area.
really nice. All right, so kind of like back into our personal lives. So do y'all have any hobbies that have changed since we last talked? If y'all remember, because that was a long time ago.
For me, I can't even remember the hobby I had, but I know that I was limited because school, not saying school is it's still intense, but now for the summer, I've gotten in a really good routine because I'm back at home living with my parents. And I think it's taken a lot of weight off my shoulders where I'm able to just focus on school and focus on going to the gym and hanging out with friends and family. Like I'm finally prioritizing the gym and
Yes, I've seen
friends.
you've been hitting the gym
I
a
go
lot.
5 to 6
Yeah,
times a
I'm
week,
so proud of
every
you.
day consistently. So it feels so good to just be back in that routine. And I used to have that because I was an athlete before, but
Yeah,
with school,
right.
it's just, things can be so hard and there's so much to do. And so now I have a great schedule. I want to keep that with me for at least this fall semester and onwards. So
Right. I
yeah,
feel like with school, you just get so off track because you wake up in the morning and then you attend classes and then you get home and it's already 6, 7, and you're like,
yeah,
I
how did
know,
the day go by so fast? You know, you don't
I
even have
know.
time for your personal stuff. You eat, shower, and call it a day, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like me, like Autumn said, I can't even remember what my hobbies were. I know one of them was YouTube, and I loved filming, you know, I loved recording, I loved doing YouTube. But with school, you just didn't even have time to edit and stuff. And now I'm picking back up on it. I enjoy just sitting there and editing, you know, my lifestyle, what I do during the day. Adding to that, I picked up on reading books again. Like I used to be so into reading and then I cut it off when I was like in high school a couple years back and now I'm picking up on it again. It's just like free therapy, you know, like you get your mind off
yeah.
stuff, you get your mind off technology for a while and I love it.
Yeah, no, reading is great. And it's like when you're in school, you're reading these textbooks. So it's not as enjoyable as just
Yeah, like you're
sitting
reading
there.
stuff you're required to read, not stuff you enjoy.
So I love that you're doing that. That's great.
Yeah.
What about
What about
you,
you,
Madeline?
Madeline?
I still remember this. Like the first time we filmed our podcast, I was like, I like walking on the treadmill, and I regret that ever since because that is so stupid. Because I literally don't like. I'm sure like I'll walk on the treadmill like maybe like once a month. I never knew why I said that. Like if there's one thing I regret about this job, it's like saying I'm so serious. But I would say that's definitely changed because I don't do that. I like to like y'all. I do love to read. I do have a goal. I want to read 50 books by the end of the year, and I've already read
Wow.
39.
How
Proud
many?
of you.
Wait, how many have you
39.
read?
But like
39?
usually I read like 4 a month.
Wow.
Madeline, that is so
Y'all just
impressive.
need to find like good series. Like, I read this series called Throne of Glass, off topic, but y'all need to read Throne of Glass. That's one of the best things I've ever read. Like I was
Okay. Well,
crying, I was
wow.
screaming. I
We'll
swear.
have to check that out.
That took
That
up
is
that
so
took up my whole summer.
impressive. And it lets your brain, I mean, all the vocabulary that you're picking up on, the
New
scenarios that you're
words.
new
No,
words. I know,
totally.
like that's why reading is so important. And I know
I've
it's
read books and I'm like, wait, I have to look the word up because I'm like, have never heard people use this word in my entire life. And then I'm like, oh, you know, like it's a synonym with something you use in your everyday life. And I'm like,
I
interesting.
know, but then that's awesome because then you can like go use it with your friends and they're
Yeah,
like, wait,
and
what
they're
are
like,
you
what are you
talking
talking
Like,
about?
all
about?
right.
Okay, so I know we mentioned how our perspectives and many things, not just, you know, our educational lives have changed. With that being said, what would you tell your freshman year you based on what you've experienced in college so far, whether it be undergrad or Autumn? I know for you now it's grad school and it's very different from undergrad. So what would y'all tell yourselves from, you know, what, 17, 18-year-old selves that was just starting college as a freshman?
Do
Gosh.
not show up to class like 30 minutes early. I swear. I used to do that and I'd sit around and not do anything. And it would make me more nervous for my classes. So, like, yeah, I would tell myself, why are you doing that? And I lived like right next to all my classes because I lived in Parliament and it was only like a 5-minute walk. And I'd be there like 30 minutes, like an hour to 30 minutes early. Like why why did I
Well,
do
it's you're nervous and rather be early than late, especially depending on whatever the class
Right.
is. But
But I could have
30
left
minutes
like
is
10
a little
minutes later, but I was like, no, I was like, I have to be there. Like, and like the teacher wasn't even, I was there before the professor. Like, that's,
but to ease your stress, I literally don't blame you. But now everyone has heard it. Don't show up 30 minutes early. Maybe
I swear
do
it
it
made
with
me more
10.
nervous sometimes because I'd sit there and I'd be like, where's all the other students? Like, am I in the wrong room? And it's like, no, you're just like remarkably early. You're, so I would tell my, like, stop doing that. Stop it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And for me, so I was a freshman in 2015. So
Wow.
that's been some time ago. So I'm 26 now. So it's so wild. Well, like, and college is this what you make of it, right? But it's like at 17, 18, you're expected to like know exactly what you want to do. And I think that's kind of this, and I hate that our society makes it that way. Like you have to figure it out. You have to have a major. And we've talked about it before, like switching your major, like it is
It's
totally
okay.
okay. Like I
Yeah.
think we need to normalize that more. And honestly, your college days are one of the best days, like undergrad days. So
I agree.
I would tell people because the people that are in my program at least, they just put their head down and they only really focused on school. Like they didn't enjoy like having fun. So what I would tell people is like obviously get your grades, do what you need to do, but enjoy all like the events that the university has to offer. Like obviously show up to class on time, but like really enjoy being with your friends and enjoy the breaks that you have because once you get into the real world, it is not like undergrad at all. It really changes a lot. So I think everyone just needs to soak it in and just go with it because it really truly is. It can be a stressful time, but it can honestly be a really great time if you make it to be. So,
Adding on to that, yeah, I definitely agree. And also just telling yourself everything's gonna be fine. Like I feel like we put
Mhm.
so much pressure onto ourselves, like, oh, I did bad on an exam, or I didn't pass this class, or just I'm not doing well academically. And it's like it's okay. I remember I would freshman year, I would just sit there and be like, I'm doing horrible. What am I gonna do? This is the end of my career. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. And it's like you would look at yourself like 2, 3 months later or even weeks later and you'd be like, oh, like I got past it, like telling yourself
Exactly.
it's gonna be ups and downs. It's a roller coaster of, you're doing really well, you're not doing so great, but at the end of the day, you're gonna get past it and you're gonna be successful and you're gonna achieve your academic goals. So I feel like telling
Absolutely.
myself like, take it one day at a time, you're gonna be fine. You got it, So I've
No,
learned that the hard way, but I've learned it.
but we all go through that no matter what it is. Like, say someone has kept the same major the whole time. That's awesome, but they also go through their own stuff. And
Yeah. And a lot of
that's
people don't
okay.
talk about it and it's fine. It's stuff everyday people go through it, like
Right. Right. And who's ever listening, don't be hard on yourself. Everything, like Natalie said, will be okay. Trust
yeah,
me. You are probably 17 and 18, and life is just getting started.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. Time is on your side, my friend. So, segueing into the next thing. So, how do you guys like your major thus far? I mean, I know Natalie, I know it's pretty intense, and same with you, Madeline. So, I guess can you kind of go into that more?
So ever since I started, I was a biochemistry pre-med major, and so far I am a year or less away from graduation, and I have not changed my major yet. But like you said, it's okay if you do. Not everything works out for everybody. It has been pretty intense, pretty difficult. But I feel like it's just for me, I like the difficultiness of it. I think I can handle it so far. My courses have been, pretty hard, but good overall, and I don't see myself changing it yet. That may change, that may not. But I feel like going into the medical field, I'm good where I'm at and I
Yeah.
plan on sticking to it.
So you said you have like a year and a half left. So will you graduate tentatively then 2024? Is that
2024 or feeding into 2025 possibly.
okay?
But yeah, I am set to complete my courses by December of 2024. So we're
Nice.
getting there, guys. We're getting there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What about you, Madeline?
Yeah, so I really like my major, you know, I don't think right now I don't see myself changing it. I mean, also because I like got accepted in the program last semester, so it would kind of like push me back if I did change it. But I mean, being in the like besides like the gen ed classes, like being in like actually like in the program and taking social work classes like really like ignited my passion, because I feel like just taking like the electives and the general like I never like you don't get to do the social work stuff. So like then I was like, oh, do I really want to do this? Like I'm not learning anything. But once I started like actually being in the classes, it's like, you know what? Like I do want to do this.
Right. Well, and then I guess for me, I'm in a cohort, so all my classes are decided for me every single semester. I don't get to pick and choose like undergrad, you kind of did. But I have to say, now that I'm a third year student, so like my final year, everything is more hands-on. So we learned all that nitty-gritty stuff. And now it's like you're actually having real patients, you're actually doing what you're supposed to be doing. So for me, I really enjoy it, and I know I'm exactly where I should be in my current 26-year-old life.
I
So
feel like, yeah, your last years, once you start getting into the field, they're more exciting and more fun because it's not, books and studying
exactly.
exams. You're like dealing with patients and you're getting a feel of what you're going to be doing for, the rest of your career, which is awesome. I love that.
Yeah. And what I have to say, especially for both of you two, because you guys will also have, patients or individuals that you're working hands-on with. What you learn in school is just that foundational level. Like the real world is so much different, and it's not just a case study that you're reading. So that's what I think I had to learn when I did my first rotation is like, well, then there's the textbook way, which obviously you have to pass your boards and all that. But then there's the real life way. Like these people are human. Like, how can I approach this in a way that makes sense for them and not what the textbook exactly says?
And I feel like not a lot of people emphasize that. Like the textbook says one thing, but every patient is different. Every person is different. You're not going to be dealing with the same case every single day. So you have to go by filling it and, what you live by and gain your experience from what you see every day once you're in the field.
Yeah.
So on to another like personal question. So what are some personal goals you all have for this year?
Good question.
It is a good question. I guess for me, I've really set up a great foundation as far as, trying to save money because I live at home at this current moment. Working out, eating healthy. I really want to keep that implemented in my life. I think if I do that, it'll go, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It'll go really far in my life.
Right. Yeah, I feel like for me, well, one of my goals is purchasing a new car. I've had the same car since I started college, which has no problems. I've put in a lot of money into it. But just, wrapping up school and then purchasing a new car and also working out more. I am pretty consistent, but not as consistent as I should be. And then eating healthier too. I feel like in college you eat out so much and I'm like, I need to stay away from that. I need to start cooking myself some more meals at home and just making healthier choices overall,
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like being more like independent, like
Yeah.
I need to get my own credit card. I'm living on my own. I need to start like cooking for myself. Like I don't have a meal plan. Like I need to start learning how to just like truly be like independent.
Adult life kicking in. Definitely.
Yes. Like I have like a debit card, but like everyone's like, you need like a credit card. I'm like, oh, I really do have to like think about that.
Credit.
Yeah. Start your credit young, you guys.
Yeah.
Start it you in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, following into your question, Madeline. So, what's your main motivation for this school year? Like, what's keeping you going? What's your like, whenever I'm feeling down, this picks me back up?
Graduation.
I was just going to say like
that's
me
a really
walking across
good
the
one.
stage.
Yeah.
That's all I'm literally thinking about. So May 2024, May 11th of 2024, I'll be good. That's what's
We'll be
keeping me
partying.
going. What about you two?
Just like walking across the stage, hearing my name called.
I agree. That was in my head as well. Imagining it me walking the stage and having it over with is like, oh, I can't wait to do that, and I can't wait to finish. So
I know.
I mean, and that's
But
been
I
what
have to say though, you know, graduation, we think it's this big thing, right? And as it should be, but also I think people get so hyped up and wrapped around the fact of graduation that they're then super sad after it because they're like, okay,
right.
well, what's next? And it's awesome that like you both, including myself, we have these other next goals that we want to do post graduation. Like it's not just graduation, it's like what we're doing in life. And that's fine if you're there too. Like everyone is in their own journey, but it's awesome that we have these next fun goals to like do post graduation. So
I agree. Yeah, we have, we know what we're doing now, but we have a game plan of what's coming up next and what we're planning on doing, which is great. And like I said, we're all doing great things, you guys.
great things. All right. So this is my last question for you all. So name a highlight you had over our summer break.
Ooh, good one. I've had plenty.
Yeah.
So, for me, I feel like my highlight of the summer was just spending family time. Like you said, with school, you don't prioritize that. And I feel like this summer, since I took it off from classes and everything, I had time to, engage with my family more, spend more quality time, go on vacations, just soak up the moment and make memories with your family because you don't get to see that all year round. So I really enjoyed that. That was the highlight of my summer, just soaking up my family and spending time with them.
Yeah, I would say like I guess I went to New York as well and I saw my family and that was really nice. I also went to like the beach with my friends. I went to Port Onassis and I went to Galveston and that was like super fun as well, just being able to spend that time with my friends.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you, Madeline and Natalie, for sharing. And I really enjoyed everything that you've been up to, including myself. We've been busy and I'm so, so proud of us. I'm really looking forward to this fall semester of all of us. We have a really fun podcast list this upcoming time for you all. So thank you so much. And that was our TWT for you all. I'm Autumn.
I'm Madeline.
And I'm Natalie, and thank you so much for tuning in and checking in with us. Have a great rest of your day.
See you next time, Pioneers.
Bye.
Bye.